Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. Got some great stuff for you guys today. Let me pull up the banner here. We've got five ways for you to create momentum in your trading. So let's jump right into it. I'll give you guys a moment to come in. I see a bunch of people coming in now. For everybody that is here, that's joining us live, thank you so much for being here. Make sure that you click the like and the subscribe button. That helps blast it out to everybody. Let me know where you're logging in from too. People log in from all over the place. Where it's streaming live now to 4 different places. Can't really. It's hard to believe that we're doing it to that many places right now, but we're streaming to YouTube, to Twitter, Facebook, and now to this new platform called sharevision.com. It's kind of cool. Go check them out as well. But I want to get right into it. Let's talk about the 5 ways that you can create momentum in your trading. So let me share my screen over here and we'll dive right in. All right, so 5 ways that you can create momentum in your trading. But let me ask you, well, what do you think are a few ways that you could create momentum in your trading? Go ahead, type it into the chat. I'll give you a moment or two to answer. And by the way, you could just keep commenting as things come to mind during this. This is meant to be interactive. I know that we restream this later on, that it gets recorded, that we even turn it into a podcast later on too. So people could listen later on. But for you guys that are here, that are joining us live, type in, let me know some of the things that you think can help create momentum in your trading. The first thing that really helped me create a lot of momentum in my trading was this first thing over here. I'll write it in. So number 1 is seeking clarity. Let me know if you could read my chicken scratch. Number 1, seeking clarity. So, well, what does that even mean? Right? Well, what do you think it means? Well, what do you think it means to seek clarity? Uh, to me, clarity is kind of like a 3-step process, at least to start getting the ball rolling. And so there's 3 things that you need in your trading, or else it's going to continue to fall flat. And it's clarity on these 3 things, or really awareness around these 3 things too. So you need to be clear on your goals, right? So your goals. Uh, B, we'll say. So 1B is your beliefs. And C. Anybody know what C is? What C might be? Type it into the chat. So we've got goals, beliefs, and letter C is going to be your ability to execute. And I'll tell you why these 3 things are so important. I mean, so your goals are basically, it's like the address that you're plugging into the GPS in a car. It's going to help you figure out like the rest, the beliefs that will help get you to your goals, if you're able to execute on your way there or not. So the clearer you are on your trading goals, so what you want to, of course, most people start financially, but also think about too, well, how much time do you want to be spending on your trading each day? Um, how, uh, yeah, how much time do you want to be spending on your trading each day? How much time are you able to dedicate to trading each day? Um, well, what? Uh, when do you want to execute? How much time do you want to spend researching? What types of things do you want to research? What are your goals with trading financially within the next 6 months, within the next year, within the next 5 years? Get clear on these types of things because those are the types of things that will help you figure out which trading modality, right? Because there's several, right? Like you could be a long-term investor. You could be a swing trader. You could be a day trader. You could be a scalper. Maybe you're trading crypto. Maybe you're trading options. Maybe you're trading stocks. There's a variety of things that you could do with trading. And the clearer you are on this right here, your goals, the easier figuring out the rest is going to be. So that's really step one for you. Figure out what your goals are and try to make your goals smart, right? So, well, what does that mean? Like, it's not just making them intelligent, but perhaps you've heard of this acronym, making your goals SMART, SMART. Anybody here that's live, have you guys heard of this acronym SMART? If you have, let me know, and let me know if you know what it stands for. It's an acronym. It stands for specific. Probably going to run out of space at the bottom of this board, but that's okay. Specific, measurable. We want to be able we've mentioned specificity already. The more specific it is, the more specific you are with your goal, the easier it'll be to get there. Right? Like if just like if you're putting a specific address into the GPS of a car, and you want to get somewhere, it'll be able to route you over, around, and through to get to your destination. If you're kind of vague and you just put in the state or the country, then who knows if you're going to get there. So making a bunch of money is not very specific. Maybe you have a certain dollar amount in mind. Maybe you have a certain time frame where you'd like to attain that goal. Great. And maybe you have a certain time of day that you'd like to be trading or doing your research. All those fall into the goal, into the specificity for goals. Next is measurable, right? Like, so how are you going to measure your goal? Most people set out with just looking at their P&L, and that's it. And that's where this trading disease tends to to develop. Perhaps you've heard of it. It's called tickositis. My friend Adam Sarhan first introduced me to that. If you don't know who Adam is, go check him out. He's on Twitter at Adam Sarhan. Really great guy. But anyhow, so if your only way to measure your progress is to just be going on your phone 10 times a day and looking at your P&L, then that is uh, not going it's not going to lead you to long-term trading success. In fact, I don't know anybody that has achieved long-term trading success by constantly monitoring their P&L that way. In fact, most people are not, right? Like many of the best traders that you'll meet check in only when needed, right? So getting clear on what only when needed is. Make your goals attainable, right? So if you are a new trader and your goal is to turn $100 into $1 million in your first year, is that attainable, right? Like, I'm the type of guy that believes that anything is possible. So I wouldn't rule that goal out for anybody. But is it attainable? Is it reasonable? Right? Like maybe that's a better way to look at it. Is it a reasonable goal? Is your goal relevant? Is it relevant to what? Well, so having a clear why. So why are you after this? Is it relevant? Why do you need to turn $100 into $1 million? Well, if you're just looking for to own your time or to quit your job, do you need to necessarily get to 1 million for that to happen? Probably not. So whatever your goals are, make them relevant and also put a time limit on them, right? Make them time bound. Make your goals time bound. So if you want to learn trading, right? Like, how are you going to do it? Uh, how long are you going to give yourself to learn trading? Trading should be looked at as a profession, just like any other profession. I'd say to give yourself at least a couple of years to start to gain some real traction, gain some real momentum as you are learning, as you're making progress. Uh, Way too many people that are new at this game come in and think that they're going to take that small account, that $100 or $1,000, and then parlay it into uh, hundreds of thousands, or even like turning 1,000 into 10,000, right? Like that's a much smaller jump, but even that, like, well, what's the percentage on that, right? Like you're looking for 1,000% return, like that's kind of nuts to expect that in your first year. It's possible, right? Like nothing's impossible, but give yourself time to learn, and approach it like you're here to learn, and you're learning a craft that is going to help you for the rest of your life. That's number one. Seek clarity. Seeking clarity. That's your goals, right? So there's a lot baked into just this one thing, right? Went a little bit deeper there than I thought that I was going to go in this. Um, King Kong says 1,000 to broke first year. Yeah, that's that tends to be how the majority end up. That's certainly how I ended up, well, when I first started trading. Like I was by no means an expert right out of the gate. I made like every kind of mistake that a person can make, and one of them was not having smart goals, having completely unrealistic goals. So yeah, that's how it generally tends to go. Let's talk about beliefs, right? So what are your trading beliefs, right? So now uh, let's clear this, and let's talk about beliefs. All right. So beliefs, I like to break down beliefs into two main buckets. Well, when it comes to trading, the first is your trading beliefs. Go figure. And then the other bucket is your money beliefs. What are your beliefs about money? Is money hard to come by? Does it flow naturally? Do you have to work hard for it? Is it the root of all evil? That's some of the stuff that I was surrounded by when I was growing up. So figure out what your beliefs are about trading and about money, because your beliefs are basically your operating system. So it's kind of like if you were to try to run a program, right? Like, let's say you have a Mac, and you have a Windows-based piece of software, and you try to install it on the Mac, it's not going to work unless if there's, like, it's compatible. But let's say that in this instance, it's not. It's not going to be able to work. So, same thing with your beliefs, right? Like, so let's say I give you the best day trading strategy on the planet, uh, but it does not align with your beliefs. You think that day trading is kind of BS, and I'm like, oh well, it's for crypto, and you're like, crypto's gonna disappear, and it's gonna be outlawed pretty soon. Get out of here with that nonsense. Won't work for you. So you need to question your beliefs about trading and your beliefs about money. And finally, last part of seeking clarity is your ability to execute. Ability to execute. Now, this, I have really bad handwriting, if in case if you couldn't notice, but your ability to execute is going to allow you to either trade a system well or trade it poorly. So if uh, using the same day trading analogy, right? Like you could have the best day trading strategy, but let's say you're working full time. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. You need to look at whatever way you're going to trade. Is this something that I'm able to execute? Does it align with my beliefs? Does it uh, does it align with my goals? If any one of those three are missing, you're kind of sunk. And by the way, if you haven't already read this book, highly recommend that you go grab the Mara Mindshift Guide. It walks you through exercises for all of this. It's on Amazon. Definitely go grab the Mara Mindshift Guide. I wrote that about a year ago. Let's now let's talk about number two. Number two is getting organized. Getting organized. Now, how can you get organized with your trading? And like there's a few ways for you to get organized with your trading. The first is going to be looking at your personal calendar, right? Let's write that down. Your personal calendar. And like, well, why is this guy talking about my personal calendar as far as trading goes? Well, when are you going to trade? When are you going to do your research? When are you going to do your post analysis? What how many blocks of time do you have each day, each week to do this kind of stuff? Think about that kind of thing through because like if you're just getting started, like this is your new part-time job. Like people that dabble in trading have dabbler results. Kind of like the person that goes to Vegas or goes to Atlantic City or whatever casino is near you. And sometimes you win, most of the time you lose. You need to figure out your personal calendar and treat this like it's going to be your part-time job. And you know what? If you treat it like a part-time job and you approach it well, maybe it becomes your full-time job later on if you want. So, personal calendar, getting organized with your personal calendar. When are you going to trade? When are you going to do your research? Blocking out specific blocks of time on your calendar. Make it happen. Okay, next up is your trading routine, right? Like, well, what's going to be in your trading routine? In fact, let me pop open my perhaps it, and you may have seen this on maybe one or two uh, of the other live streams that I've done, but this is basically what my routine looks like. Right. So there's a few things that I do in here that I come in, I complete this thing every day, right? Like it's not the whole sheet I'm completing each day, right? Like so you see like each row is a day. So I'm coming in, I'm looking at the major indices, I'm updating things on my personal portfolio, and I'm going through a trade ideas list and I'm filtering it down into a focus list and an actions list of any trades that I might be interested in that maybe I want to take. I'm doing that, and each day I am also filling out one of these. It's a daily portfolio prep sheet. Both of these, by the way, I share these with our elite members inside the Mara Elite program. Highly, highly, highly recommend that you check out the Mara Elite program if you have not done so yet. It's a fantastic program. We go through everything related to trading, coaching, mentoring, all of it. I don't want to take too much time for it right now. I want to give you guys more time focused on this stuff in the during the live stream, but definitely go check out the Mara Elite program. Go to marawealth.com. I'll type it into the chat, and you guys can check that out later on when we're done. Marawealth.com. So this sheet, daily portfolio prep sheet. So each day before the market opens, I will go through this whole 5-step process, right? So mindset, right? Well, first thing that I do to help myself with mindset is writing out my affirmation, right? So every morning, I'll come in here and I'll write that the market, whoop, then I need to learn how to spell sometimes. The market is an infinite stream of opportunity. And I'll write that out for myself. And I'm the only person that needs to read the stuff. I share it. I do a little bit better of a job when I'm doing it in the morning and don't feel as rushed writing this stuff. I'm trying to hurry things along right now a little bit, but I write this out to myself. The market is an infinite stream of opportunity to further plant that seed in my mind, so that way, like, if the market really is an infinite stream of opportunity, then the only thing that I need to do is follow my plan. Right. So I'm going into the market. I'm going in with a system. I'm going in well with all of my preparation. I'm going in with a plan. All I have to do is follow it, and that's it. So, like right now, for example, today, I looked at my positions earlier, and a lot of them are taking it on the chin today rather than getting that. And you know what? Like, it wasn't that long ago where a younger version of me would have been freaked the hell out, blown out of every position. But part of what helps me stay calm, relaxed in a trade is this kind of prep and the belief that the market is an infinite stream of opportunity. If that's true, what else do I need to do other than follow my plan? Right? I believe in the plan. I've researched the plan. I've done my back testing. Well, what else is there to do? So coming in with that level of prep and doing this each day, right? So I'll write out my all the different positions that I have, right? So let's say right now, what do I have? I had Upstart. I was stopped out of at least part of it earlier today. Um, I had Coin. I have a number of others. I'm actually about the heaviest that I've been since the beginning of the year. And I'll come up with, or I'll start to think through what happens if Upstart rockets higher, right? And closes at its high. I'll come up with a plan for that. What happens if it rockets higher, but it closes at its low or anywhere in between? Come up with plans for each of those. Then, same thing, if it just drifts up, if it moves sideways, right? Because trades could really do one of five things, right? They could rocket up, can just sort of drift up, they can move sideways, they can drift down, or they can rocket down like a stone. And depending on how they move, you're going to respond differently, right? Well, like let's say a trade rockets down like this, but it ends up closing at its high. You're going to react very differently than if it closed down here at its low, right? So, thinking through each of these scenarios ahead of time is extraordinarily helpful. And it helps reduce the risk because you've already thought through all this stuff. That's why I like to do this right in the morning. Uh, in the morning, that tends to be when I'm in a peak state, and that's where uh, if I'm in a peak state, it's the best time for me to sit down and think through these things and write through that those kind of plans. And yeah, King Kong is saying that famous Mike Tyson quote: "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face." Well, this is your battle plan, right? It still means that you should go in with some kind of a plan, know what you're going to do, right? So, like, even Mike Tyson knows that when his opponent's going to throw one punch, how he's going to duck or bob a wave away and throw his counter punch. That's what all of the planning and preparation is for, right? Like, yes, sometimes the market will knock you on your ass, and it's done that plenty of times to me. Still doesn't mean that you don't go in without a plan. Having this, like, it is, and thinking through all this has truly been a game changer for me. Next, let's see. Next is getting others around you, right? So we're up to step number 3. So let's come over here, close that, move this over here, and clear this frame. All right, so we spoke about a bunch of stuff already, right? So we spoke about number 1 was what? Seeking clarity, right? You guys remember what and number 2 was? We just spoke about getting organized. Now we've got number 3. Number 3 is getting others around you. Getting others around you. This is a good way to do it, right? How fortunate and blessed are we now that we could just hop on YouTube or Twitter or wherever and blast out and have a community and talk to each other in real time, just like this. Right? It's freaking amazing. You could build your own communities on whatever platform it is. Some of the things to be mindful of are if you're building your own community, are who are you letting into your community, right? So with social media, um, sometimes there's a lot of negativity out there. Uh, one thing to be mindful of is that we tend to become what we surround ourselves with. So we want to be very mindful of what we're watching, reading, listening to. Whatever it is that we consume is, we're going to grow into that. It's like uh, thinking about it as like mental seeds, and like everything that you're listening to is a mental seed that it's getting planted in your head. So you want to be careful about the types of things that you internalize, the types of things that you end up following and believing. So, uh, getting the right people around you. So, it's not just getting others around you, getting the right people around you. And who are the right people? Who are the right people? Who do you think the right people are? Type it into the chat. Getting the right people around you. Well, the right people are going to be the people that have done what you are trying to do, right? So you could get people that have already achieved what you're trying to do, at least get people that are on the going in the same direction as you are, hopefully a little bit further ahead. Maybe kick out some of the people that are the negative Nancy's, right? Like you don't want to hang around too many of those. People that can start to drag you down, or maybe you begin to limit your time with those types of people. Um, yeah, King Kong, I love your comments, man. Like so super active in here. Uh, King Kong is saying that every community costs an arm and a leg. Um, you know what? Like the communities that it, I think that some communities do cost a lot, right? What a lot is can be relative. So here's a few things to think about too, right? So, well, when the first community that I was a part of, I mean, the first real trading community, the one that finally got me from being a boom and bust failing trader to finally having consistent success that led to me quitting my day job and doing this full time, all by the age of 38. Now I'm 41. I'll be 42 in a couple of weeks. IBD meetup, right? Investors Business Daily meetup. I went there, and it was a live thing, and we met monthly, and everybody's doing the same system. And now there's people up at the front, people that were further ahead than I was, obviously. Some people trading full time. One guy was managing his own personal hedge fund. And then there were other people in the audience similar to me. We're all learning from each other, bouncing ideas off of each other. And within a year, right? Like I was struggling for 10 years. Within 1 year, I went from boom bust to finally getting some traction and becoming consistent. I later on went to be a leader in that group and was a leader in that group for about a decade. Um, Having people around you can motivate you, can help you get to where you're going faster. And for what King Kong was saying earlier, with communities costing an arm and a leg, might how much does not having the right people around you cost you? Right? For me, it cost me 10 years. That group, where we were meeting, yeah, it wasn't expensive, but we met up once a month. How about having people around you that are constantly around you? Like, how much faster would you move then? Right? Like, it's such an odd or an interesting way to start to think about the relationship with money, and that's why the first thing that we spoke about, right? If you remember from earlier on, gaining clarity about your beliefs. And your beliefs, not just about trading, but your beliefs about money too. So what you consider valuable or not valuable, and the relation there. Well, what can help speed up time, right? What can get you to your goals faster? That's the way to start thinking about it. It was those kinds of beliefs. We're like, oh, this is too expensive. I don't want to invest in that. Like, those were the kinds of things that ended up holding me back. And you know, well, I don't want that to happen to you guys. So yeah, you could pay for groups. Well, we have a group too, right? Our Mara Elite program. Again, go check that out. But there's also like free things to like build your own groups if you want, like hopping on different live streams and different chat rooms, or stock twits, or following certain people on Twitter. Like, there's ways to get connection. There's ways to do it for free if money truly is an issue. But is it an issue, or do you need to shift your mindset on investing in yourself? It's an interesting question. Let's see. So we went through getting others around you. Next up, weekly habits and then daily habits. All right. So, weekly habits. Let's take a look at some of the weekly habits, right? So, started to talk a little bit about it before. So, at the end of each week, there's a few things that I like to do, right? The first thing that I like to do is I build this list here. It's a universe watch list. It's a list of stocks that pass all of the things that I'm interested in, all my different screens. And there's several screens that I run. I run it in this tool here. It's called MarketSmith. Uh, I think MarketSmith is a fantastic tool for screening. It gives you, it lets you screen for all of the fundamental and technical criteria that growth uh, trader like me is interested in, growth and momentum. And it also lays out the fundamental characteristics in a nice, neat little area like this. I run these screens over here, between this one here for sector leaders down to this one for rocket scan. I run those and I compile this universe list. That part of it takes, I don't know, anywhere between maybe less than an hour to go through those different screens, find the ideas that I like, and then throw them onto this list. Then from there, what I'll do is I'll go through that whole list and I'll start to build a trade ideas list. Right? Like, anything that's moving sideways, anything that's consolidating goes onto this trade ideas list. Anything that catches my eye as a potential setup goes there. And then from that, I'll start to build out these two, the in the neighborhood and the focus lists, right? And that's work that I like to take these, uh, the stocks that are here, I'll export this and I'll throw it into a better charting platform, right? Like, MarketSmith is fantastic for screening, but for looking at charts, I actually enjoy uh, this one a lot better. Trading view. Just a lot easier to annotate and manipulate the charts. And so I'll look at this and I'll go through, uh, I'll populate everything on here, and then I'll start to move them around, right? I'll be like, oh, this is this trade is at best like it's a C level trade. This one is a B level trade. This one actually looks pretty interesting. Let me throw it up here, and I'll consider it an A level trade, right? Like this one was on the list yesterday as a potential A level trade. Intuitive Surgical. You can see that it's starting to break out today and had massive volume after earnings, and it's starting to uh, break above this advanced level of resist, or yeah, that minor level of resistance, advanced entry point. Yeah, so that's one to go check out. But that's basically the process, like kind of whittling down the list, and it's giving me a lot of great insights every week. Right? Like it's letting me know, is this universe expanding or contracting? Is it what types of setups there are? What sectors they're coming from? Are the setups high quality, low quality? What type of market are we in? There's so much in there. Like it's uh, more than I can really like dive deep into it in the few minutes that we have here. Like we're already over time. I don't mind. I'll go a little bit longer today, but it's those kind of things that can like it's great to do every week, and that's what my weekly routine is. Now let's talk about what your weekly routine is. Your weekly routine does not have to be all this, right? Like if you're like, shit, Mike, that seems pretty intense. I don't know if I can do all that. Well, number one, I would challenge you to try, right? Like to do it in your way. And well, we have a lot of other training that can show you how to do it, and I'm giving all my training to our members too, like all my research and everything, so that could be a great way to save time. But there's tools out there, like you don't have to buy Market Smith. Like maybe you could do your screening in this other thing called FinViz. Check out the video that Coach Stu and I did a couple like yeah, it was either last week or the week before, that we were talking about FinViz. Go check that out. Um, the idea is to have some kind of a process, some kind of a weekly routine that you do uh, every single week without fail. That's going to keep you tuned into and dialed into the market, and it's going to help level up your game. If you're truly serious about trading, you need to have some kind of a weekly routine that you follow. And yeah, one of the first things that we spoke about too was about building out your calendar. Uh, that's a great place to schedule it in. Next up is the daily routine. And I see a few questions coming in. It looks like, uh, yeah. Well, we'll hold off some of these questions for the end. I see some questions from Confluence Trader, some other comments coming in from Vamshi. Welcome everybody. Yeah, well, we'll keep those questions that you guys have towards the end. If you have something specific for what we're talking about right now, then yeah, go ahead, type it in. For those other questions for about VCPs and being long or short, well, we'll talk about it during the open Q&A portion. Just wanted to let you know that we'll get to all of it. But anyway, next thing is your daily habits. What are you going to walk through each day? Well, for me, each trading day, right? And again, like it could be different for everybody. Maybe you're a swing trader, momentum based swing trader, kind of like me. If you are, you know what I'm not doing in the middle of the day? I'm not screening for ideas. I'm not glued to my screen. I'm not like constantly scrolling through and checking my positions. Uh, the bulk of my work, so it will come. I'll do some of it in the pre-market, right? So where's that sheet that I showed you guys earlier? I think I closed it, but that sheet, the daily prep sheet. Let me pull that up again. Yeah, here it is. This, right? So I'll fill that out.
I didn't quite catch that.
Uh, Siri didn't quite catch it. Sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, so I'll fill this out in the pre-market for my existing positions. Other than that, at the end of the day, I'm running a few screens in MarketSmith, right? So I'm going back to MarketSmith and I'm trying to find the stocks that are leading, right? So I'll run these screens up here, right? Over just the universe list. The ones that I showed you before, uh, they were screening the entire market. It was like trying to find like what new ideas are there that I want to add to my universe. During in the middle of the week, I'm only interested on just the universe, right? So I want to see from the universe list what stocks are have the relative strength at 52-week highs. That's going to show me what stocks are leading, especially when we're in sideways markets. Like for example, let me show you this over here real quick. Back here on October 6th, right? That's when I started to get long. Actually, no, it was the day before on October 5th, right? October 5th started to finally get long stocks, and it took a while for it to start to gain momentum. October 5th was back here, right? When the market looked like crap, when most people were saying that the market was getting ready to roll over. I'm busy buying stocks on that day. The reason why is because, well, having this daily routine, having this weekly routine, letting the market speak to me, not listening to any of the noise out there. And the noise to me is might sound bad, but other people's opinions, right? Like if I'm not actively looking to learn from somebody, if it's just like some kind of random article or something from wherever, like it's not important as far as my trading and my system goes. And it's a really great way for you to filter out the noise by having something where it's just you're reading what the market is doing. So so I'll run these screens here, right? The relative strength screen, a couple of volume screens on there, and I'll fine tune the focus list, and I'll go through the in the neighborhood list to see, well, maybe something that was getting close is now setting up and ready to buy. That's actually how I ended up grabbing Coinbase. I got into Coinbase uh, on this day right here as it was breaking out. So just above that, if you could see it, and if you're familiar with the pattern, this double bottom over here. Saw it on that day, bought it, and so far so good. So it's those daily routines, and I'm running these screens here. I'm running them at about 5 o'clock Eastern, right? So about an hour after the market closes. So yeah, my schedule. My daughter gets home at about 3:30. I pick her up on the bus. We're doing homework together, and then at 5 o'clock, that's when I'm doing this other stuff. I'm running these screens and building my watch list for the next day between 5 and 6 o'clock. So it's about what, maybe about 2 hours a day spending on managing my portfolio and getting ideas, and then a couple more hours on the weekend. And I don't want to be like it's a little bit more than that because I'm running a service too and teaching people. Like I don't think of that as my trading. Like the part for my trading is just a couple of hours, but like like my whole life is basically centered around trading and helping people and coaching and all that kind of stuff out. Like that's where my passion lies, in case if you couldn't figure that out yet. But it's great. I love this stuff. So uh it's those five things, and let's circle back. Right. So, what are the five things that are going to create momentum in your trading? Number one. What was number one? You guys remember? Type it into the chat. What was number one? Number one was seek clarity, right? Seeking clarity. And what was involved in seeking clarity? It was having awareness of your what? Your beliefs, your goals, and your ability to execute. And again, this book here, the Marrow Mind Shift Guide, hopefully you could see this on the screen. Go grab yourself a copy of this, go through the exercises, do them thoroughly, and it will change your life. Next up, number 2 was getting organized. Getting organized with your calendars, getting organized with your personal calendar, with your trading routine, with any kind of templates that you're going to use for yourself, like the daily prep sheet that I showed you a couple of times. Number 3 was getting others around you, joining groups, joining programs, doing a local meetup, getting others around you, other people that can support you, that have similar goals and beliefs, people that are a little bit further ahead from you that could serve as a coach, serve as a mentor. Get get help. Number 4, your weekly habits. What are you doing weekly to help your trading? Right? What kind of research, what kind of analysis are you doing? Well, what kind of post analysis are you doing? We didn't even touch on that. There's a lot of different things that can really really help you. And then of course, your daily habits. How are you going to prep for the day? The more prepared you are, right? There's a saying that says that the sweat more in practice, bleed less in war. It applies to trading too, right? The more prepared you are, the more of the preparation that you do, the less stress you're going to have during the trading day. And yeah, if you do get punched in the face, maybe it won't hurt as much. All right, so we went through a lot, and I appreciate you guys being here with me live. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Also, share the stream out if you got any value from it at all. Right now, though, I'd like to open it to some open Q&A. Whatever question you guys have, fire away. Let's see. First up is Confluence Trader. Should we run long only setup benchmark in bearish and sideways markets? So, what I like to do, well, when I'm running my screens, I don't go into it with a bias, right? So, when we're talking about the weekend routine, where I am building the universe list and then going for ideas, I'm not approaching it with any kind of a bias at all. I'm letting the market speak. If I'm seeing bullish setups, I'll be bullish. If I'm seeing bearish setups, I'll be bearish. If I'm seeing both, then I'll have a foot in both camps, right? And there's other things that I'm looking at too that will help me figure out, well, which way do I want to lean? But it's never just one thing. I look at the market as like a quilt or a tapestry, right? Like there's many moving pieces, a giant puzzle, right? No one piece of the puzzle is more important than another. It takes all of it to have the full picture. So, uh, yeah, like as far as running long only or that, like let the stocks speak to you. That's been the best thing that's helped me. Um, Letting the stocks and the setups do the talking. If they're setting up in bullish patterns, then uh, go long. Right? Like with this here, yeah. Back here, Coinbase was falling, but it seemed to bottom out right around here, and you could see down here too that volume was drying up. And then if you drew a descending trend line down this way, price started to turn around and break out over here, right? It stuck around its 50-day moving average, and then it came through it like a lightning bolt on heavy volume. And in seeing that, and the way to catch a move like this too is to be doing some stuff every day, or to be working with other people that do stuff every day. That's part of the what a community can do to help you too, right? Like it's uh, You ever hear that, two sets of eyes are better than one? How about a few dozen sets of eyes being better than one, and you're all looking at similar things, so it's not one person that's looking at forex, somebody else is looking at day trade, somebody else is looking at options, like, you're all kind of doing similar, like, a similar mindset. And that's what this stuff does. So, like, yeah, like, well, when a trade idea comes on my radar, I'm sharing it in the Discord group, and I'm adding it to that spreadsheet that I showed you earlier. Uh, Another question from Confluence Trader: should we run VCP in bearish market? So a VCP is a generally a bullish pattern, right? Like, you could find volatility contracting and something breaking down, right? So that's a possibility too. But if you're in an uptrend and you see stock consolidating, let's see. Well, what's a decent example? Let me see if there's anything on the uh, focus list that I had as VCP. No, not right now. But well, if you have an idea that you'd like to look at too, that you think is a VCP, we could definitely take a look at it. But just scrolling through a couple of these here. But yeah, well, this has some of the essence of a VCP, right? So if you're looking at this, you're so you have this area, and then this is getting a little bit tighter. It's a little bit longer, but um, this this area here is tighter than this, and then it tightened up again right here. So that's your VCP. Plus, you have elevated volume here. Obviously, broke out on heavy volume. You also have the relative strength line breaking into fresh highs along with price. That's always a good thing to see. Um, the market that we're in right now is a bullish market. It's hard to say that it's not when the market is moving into fresh all-time highs just about across the board. And even the Russell is finally contending with its February highs, and if it breaks out from that, then yeah, look out, bears, because the bulls are coming. But keep on looking at the market day by day and allow it to do what it's going to do, right? Like, we cannot impose our will on the market, and if we try, that's when you tend to get steamrolled. So it's going to do what it's going to do. Have a level of detachment from it, and be prepared for if it moves up, down, sideways, and in what degree it does so. Question from Vamshi. I wanted to get started and have basic knowledge on trading. How to improve myself? Let's say we join Mara Elite. Rest of the members are already in Payset. New people are joining all the time. So you have some people that are further ahead. You have some people that are beginners. Everywhere in between. And one of the great things about the program too is that as traders progress, like it's a great community in that they want to help other people that are coming in. So, like, you have a great question. So let's say you're a new trader and you join the Mara Elite program. Uh, you ask a basic question. Your question might offer somebody else with more experience a different perspective, and then they need to think through it, and then they're gaining a better perspective because of your question. Right? Like, it it's one of the things that's helped me grow dramatically faster in teaching and coaching, because it's when you get new questions, like, even if it's a similar question but asked in a slightly different way, everybody's wins, right? Because you're gaining a fresh perspective. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of coaching and camaraderie inside the program. One of our members, Stu. Stu graduated from the program, and now he's a coach. So that's the kind of community that it is. It's and one of the ways that everybody is going to learn quicker is by asking questions, being open-minded, teaching and helping other people. It's a hack to advance yourself, and it's something that I figured out. Like maybe 13 years ago when I first started in the Investors Business Daily meetups and became a leader and started teaching people that way. It truly helped my trading. I'm obviously doing this full time now, so the proof is there. Um, that's what, yeah. Check out the program. Let's see. Question from King Kong: What platform do you use? Is it free or cost monthly? Uh, Platform for what? If you're talking about the elite program, yes, there's a fee associated with that. You could pay monthly, you could pay annually if you want. Um, Both of those options are available to you. If you're talking about some other platform, I'm not sure. But as far as the Mara Elite program goes, yeah, you would be paying monthly, or you could pay annually and get it at a little bit of a discount if you go with the annual. Vamshi, uh, is it easy to catch up? Uh, what do you mean exactly by catching up? If you mean that to learn quickly, it's going to be dependent upon the level of effort that you're able to give. Um, Everybody learns at their own pace. Uh, Part of learning and learning faster would be immersion. Right? Like, so some of the ways that I've learned fastest is through immersing myself in something rather than like just casually kind of looking at something every once in a while, right? Like that's part of why one of the things that we spoke about earlier too was having a set routine, a daily routine, a weekly routine, how often you're able to look at this stuff. And the more time you're able to dedicate, the faster you'll be able to go. But also in that is tying high levels of emotion, not to your P&L, but to the process, to wanting to do this for yourself, right? Like that, it's that kind of motivation that will get you out of bed and doing this. That's how somebody can go from being, like being a beginner to starting to make real progress faster. But at the same time, uh, you don't want to rush the process. And like just like if you plant a seed, like if you plant a seed for an oak tree, no matter how much you water it, it's going to grow in its own time. So trust the process, focus on the process, and the results will come. So King Kong was talking about the trading platform. So if you're talking about MarketSmith, MarketSmith has a subscription fee. Uh, this over here with TradingView, they have a subscription fee too. TradingView has a free version. It's a bit limited. It's been so long since I signed up with TradingView, I forget how much I'm paying for it. Like I pay annually, it's maybe like $200 or $300 or something like that for the year. Well worth it for me, but like yeah, I'm using this stuff. Um, Something else too, like the tools do matter, but the main thing isn't the tools. The main thing is you, your effort, your dedication, you continuously seeking to improve yourself and coming up with a plan for how you're going to improve yourself. Like everybody that's a top performer comes up with a curriculum for themselves. Like, how are they going to get to the next level? And there is no ceiling, right? So like, it's like, oh, I'm the champion of the world. Like, that doesn't mean that that's your ceiling and you stop. No, they're continue. If you want to stay a champion, you continuously work on yourself and continuously improve to get better. Like, so getting better doesn't happen by chance. It doesn't happen by accident. Sure, a natural skill and passion can be the your first step, but it'll get you so far. Like, you need to come up with some kind of a curriculum for yourself to continuously improve. Let's see. Elza, what is the best tip in trading? Let's see. The best tip in trading. I would say that, well, one of the best tips will be one of what we spoke about earlier, right? At the top of this, if you were here, great. If not, I'll repeat it. One of the first things that you need to do in order to be successful in trading is to generate awareness and clarity around your goals, your beliefs, and your ability to execute. Because if you ignore any of those three things, your trading system will not work. You could have the best system on the planet. If it doesn't align with your beliefs, or you have some limiting beliefs about trading or about money, those kind of things will screw you up. If you if this great system does not align with your goals, like, let's say this system requires you to be in front of the screen 24 hours a day, but you only want to be trading like kind of like me, where you don't need to be in front of the screen at all during the day, then that system won't work for you, right? Or your ability to execute. So let's say that you can't be in front of the screen all day, and that system requires you to do that. Well, it's not going to work. So you really need those three things. Again, your beliefs, your goals, your ability to execute. Get clarity on those, and you're ready further ahead. One step closer. All right, we are way, way over. This is normally a 30-minute live stream. We've been going strong for an hour. So I'd like to say thank you all so much for joining me today. It's been fantastic. It's been great. We're doing these every 3 times a week. We're doing these on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and on Thursdays. Generally, it's going to be at the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern. There's a link. It's in the description where you could get notified of every single live stream. Definitely go sign up for that. And yeah, check out everything else that we spoke about here today. Check out the Mind Shift Guide. If you haven't gotten yourself a copy of the Mind Shift Guide, it's a life-changing book. Read the reviews. It's changing lives. Go get it. Check out the Mara Elite program. Check out the reviews and the testimonials on that too. Get in there and get the results that you deserve. All right, that's it. That's it for today's live stream. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow, what are we talking about tomorrow? Tomorrow, we're talking about crypto. We're talking about achieving, how I've achieved 300% return so far, year to date, in the land of crypto. So join us for that. And I'll see you here again tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Take care. Much love. Peace out.